What's up everyone and welcome to the Dr. Guitar channel, where science meets soul. I've got a doctorate in music and I'm using that knowledge to break down this song Like Real People Do by Hozier. I'll be covering the difficulty, the intro, the verse, the chorus, the bridge, the outro, 3 helpful tips, and now at the end I have a music theory analysis. I give the overall difficulty of this song a 4.6 out of 10. If you take a look at the left hand, we have a very simple G chord shape going on here, and it's going to have a little bit of melodic movement. So you have to do some pull-offs and hammer-ons, and then you're also going to have to jump up the fretboard a little bit, but it's not too bad, so overall I'm going to give it a 4 out of 10. The rhythm is the most difficult aspect of this song. It has this pulsating bass line that's going on, which is helpful, but in between that you're going to have to do some syncopated notes that are going on in between, and they're really hard to feel sometimes, so for this reason I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. The right hand is the easiest part of this song because we have a pulsating bass note with our thumb on the 6th string, which is pretty easy, and every now and again at the same time you'll have to play with your index finger, middle, or ring finger, or in between the bass, and it's not too bad, so for this reason I'm going to give it a 3. To determine the difficulty of each song, I'd have the left hand, rhythm, and right hand difficulties and round out that average. So here's a music theory breakdown of this song. This is actually just a G chord the entire song. You're just having this shape here and it's just kind of droned out. Some of the notes are omitted, so it's not like you're just strumming a G chord the whole time, but the underlying harmony is there. It's just not as apparent as a full chord. This is highlighted by this pulsating G note, and then it also has this G major pentatonic scale, melodic scale going over it the whole time. So the G major pentatonic scale is G, A, B, D, E, and then it all repeats, G, A, B, D, E, G. The major pentatonic scale is one of the most commonly used scales in history. It's used in all different cultures around the world through all different time periods. It's very natural to our ears, so it just flows and it sounds really pretty. The first melodic line you hear is actually a direct descending major pentatonic scale, so it's E, D, B, A, G. La, sol, mi, re, do. And it's cool because the outro, when you hear this, it's actually the same melody, it's just up an octave. La, sol, mi, let's get started. This song is in 6/8 and it has 9 bass note beats, and you would count that like 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then the music actually starts. So that's kind of just like a rhythmic thing here. So the first measure where the melody actually comes in, we're going to break this down. It sounds like this. So you're going to use your thumb on the 6th string, ring finger on the 1st string, middle finger on the 2nd, and then your index on the 3rd, and these are their assigned strings, so you don't move them. They're going to stay here. It's going to help you navigate through these strings. So you're going to play the 6th and 1st string together, which is open on the top string, and then you're going to use your 3rd finger to play the 3rd fret of the 2nd string, and you'll play thumb and middle, and then you're going to play the 2nd string open with the 6th string, and that's thumb and middle again. So here, moving on to the next note, you'll have to do a hammer-on to the 2nd fret of the 3rd string with your 1st finger, like that, and then you're going to play the 6th string, 3rd string open, and then 6th string again. So when you put that all together very slow, it sounds like this. Again, that's the 1st string open, 3rd fret of the 2nd string, 2nd string open, hammer on the 2nd fret, 3rd string, alternating bass, and on that 3rd fret, 6th string. The next measure sounds like this. So let's break it down. You're going to use your pinky on the 4th fret of the 3rd string, and you're going to have your 1st finger on the 2nd fret of the 3rd string down at the same time. So you're going to play the 6th and 3rd string, and what you're going to do is pull off your pinky to fret 2, and then pull off your 1st finger to open. So it's a little triplet like this. And you're going to land on the 2nd fret of the 4th string, back to the 3rd string open, then the 4th string open, and here we're going to kind of complete the lower end of a G chord, and you'll do an alternating bass, thumb, index, thumb, which would be 6, 5, 6. So when you put that all all together very slow. It sounds like this. Triplet, second fret, fourth string, third string open, fourth string alternating bass with that low G, like this. The next measure sounds like this. So let's break this down. You're going to use your pinky again on the fourth fret of the third string and walk it down, 6 and third, and then open, 6 and third again. Now here you'll do a hammer on to the second fret of the fourth string, and then you'll do alternating bass, 3, third string open, 3 on the sixth string, like this. A little faster, 4, 2, 0, 2, 0, 3. The next measure sounds like this. So let's break that down. We're going to use our pinky again on the fourth fret of the third string with the sixth string. Then you're going to walk it down to the second fret of the third string with the sixth string at the same time. Then you're going to play the third string open and then the third string open again, and then our alternating bass. So thumb, third string, thumb, like this. 4, 2, 0, 0, alternating. The second half of the intro is a direct repeat of the first half, with the first two measures being the same, like this. And then from here it's going to change. So let's look at these next two measures, which are different. So we'll play our fourth fret third string with the sixth string, second fret with the sixth string, open with the sixth string, and now here we're going to do a hammer on to the fourth string, second fret, bass, open, and you're going to do a hammer on to this third string, second fret, and then you'll play the thumb at the same exact time as the hammer on, like this. So I'm hammering and hitting at the same exact time, like this. Hammer, same time. The next measure has a similar hit and play at the same time. We're going to do our triplet, hit, triplet, thumb, index, hit, triplet, thumb, index, thumb. And then you continue on with the third string open, then alternating bass, which sounds like this. A little slower. We're going to take a look at this. It's the sixth and first string open, then the third fret of the second string, then the second fret open, and then the third string, second fret, and then we're going to have our alternating thumb, index, thumb, like this. A little slower, that's the first string, third fret of the second, second open, second fret of the third string, and then alternating 6, 3, 6. And then the next one's an ascending measure here, so we're going to go from 2 to second string open to the third fret of the second string, and then open, and then we have our alternations on fret 2 this time, so 6th string, 3rd string, 6th string, but with the second fret of the third string, like this. And then that repeats. then here we have a little cadence. So we're going to do 3rd string open, 2nd fret of the 3rd string, 2nd string open, 3rd string open, alternations. Like this. And all that happens twice. You put that all together very slow. It sounds like this. The descending line, ascending line, repeats, cadence. Of course, we're going to take our default position here and go to the inner strings on the low end. So you're going to have your thumb on the 6th string, index on the 5th, middle on the 4th, ring on the 3rd. So let's break that down. You're going to play open 3rd string, the 4th fret of the 4th string, fret 2 on the 4th string, open 4th string, and then we'll have our alternations on the low end of this G chord shape here on the 5th string and 6th string, thumb, index, thumb, like this. Then the next measure, you'll play open and 4th string, alternations between the 4th string 2nd fret, and then back to open, and then 5th and 6th string this time, like this. A little slower, that's open, alternations on the 4th string, open, alternations on the 5th string. Then that first measure repeats, and here we have our closing cadence where it climbs up. Open 4, 2 on the 4th string, 4 on the 4th string, and then the 3rd string open, alternating 3rd string, like this. When you put all that together, it sounds like this. Descending line, 4th string, 4th string, 4th string, 5th string, descending line, cadence. The third part of the chorus has an opening line, which we've already done. And from here, we're going to have to actually change to the different set of strings on the ring finger on the 2nd string, middle on the 3rd, index on the 4th, thumb still on the 6th string for a pulsating bass. And now we have a different series here. So it's going to sound like this. So let's break that down. That's open on the 2nd string, 2 on the 3rd, open on the 3rd, 2 on the 4th string, and then alternating on the 3rd string, like this. And then the next measure sounds like this. The next measure is exactly the same, except for the alternating notes. You'll have to do the 4th string open instead of the 3rd string, like this. And then we have our cadence ending tag here, where we play pinky on the 4th fret of the 3rd string, 2nd fret 3rd string, open 3rd string, open 3rd string again, and then alternations on the 3rd string, like this. When you put all that together, it sounds like this, our opening. Then we switch to the inner strings. Again, different bass at the end, ending tag. The outro has some cool octave jumps going on here, so you're going to have to do the same shape we had in our beginning with our 2 and 3 fingers on the 6th and 1st string, and we're going to jump all the way up to the 12th fret, and you'll play those both at the same time, and you're going to slide this shape to fret 10, to fret 7, to fret 5, and then you're going to do an alternation 6, 1, 6 on the 3rd fret. So when you put that together, it's like 12, 10, 7, 5, alternations. Then you're going to jump up to 7, 5, 3, open, leave your second finger on the 3rd fret, and then you're going to do alternations on the 2nd string 3rd fret, like this. And then that repeats. So here we'll do a hammer on to fret 3, bass note, jump up to fret 5, back to 3 with open, and then alternations on open, like this. From here it's a repeat kind of where we go back up, but there's some subtle variation. So you go back up to 12, 10, 7, 5. So that's a direct repeat. And then here you have some pretty fast sliding to do. You have to go 7, 5, 3 all at once, like this. So you slide from, you play 7, slide to 5, slide to 3, and then you're going to play open, then fret 3 on the 1st string, then back to open, and then alternate 2nd string 3rd fret, like this. And you're going to go back up to 7, 5, 3, open, alternate 3rd fret 2nd string, and then we're going to do a hammer on again, jump up to 5, back to 3, alternate 3, like this. So let's break that down. That's the 1st string open, 3rd fret of the 2nd string, 2nd string open, hammer on fret 2 of the 3rd string, and then play open on a syncopated note. We'll do a triplet down from 4 to 0 on the 3rd string to fret 2 on the 4th string, open 3rd string, open 4th string, syncopated 2, and then walk down 4, 2, 0, hammer on, fret 2 on the 4th string, open 3rd string, back to fret 2, and then 4, 2, 0, G chord. The first tip I have is to practice your syncopated rhythms. So I'm supplying some examples here, but what I'd like to really do is just dissect the first measure so we understand how this melody works. So if we isolate this melody in the first measure, that last note is syncopated, that 0 at the end on the 3rd string. So if we count this out, it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and comes in between 5 and 6. So it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So if we were to tap that rhythm, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. You could practice these everywhere. There's tons of variations on them, and try to internalize them. And then when you go play in the music, theoretically, your syncopated notes will be there when you go for it. The second tip I have is to practice your hammer-ons and pull-offs. So this song does have a lot of those going on, especially 4 to 1, that pinky to 1 from frets 4 to 2 and then 0 pulled off. So why don't you take this and turn it into an exercise where you play 4, 2, 0 on every string, and then start climbing up the frets with the same pattern. And then go back and plug it into the song, and it should be a lot better. The third tip I have is to practice this song without the hammer-ons and pull-offs. It's going to be a lot easier if you can kind of just get the flow of it without these shenanigans going on in the left hand. So I provided some tabs that don't have them in there now, so you can use that instead if you'd like to do that. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments below. And I also take requests, folks. You know the drill. So if you got a song you want me to do, let me know and I'll make a tutorial for you. Please like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.